Hey Fitzgerald, Scott Bar I here, responding to Todd's email about suggestions on achieving lower poor costs and higher accountability. I'm going to focus in on our last report on the what I had called the housekeeping items. I'm going to talk about a clean map, organization, POS reports, and the variance report. So as a reminder, we're using bar I and accountability to manage the bar so that we can find areas where we can improve and control poor costs. At the moment, if I'm perfectly frank, it feels like we are doing an exercise in box checking. I don't know that we've achieved looking and digging into these numbers and actually having serious conversations with the staff on areas to improve and using the numbers as they're meant to be used, which is ultimately the goal. So how do we get there? First is the clean map. Here is your map, and the idea of the map is to create the inventory term shelf to sheet. And that's the whole idea around the map, to make it shelf to software. So if you look at your map, we can see that we've got close to 1,300 lines in this map, where I took a snapshot of the actual lines being used and counted, and it's only, call it 600. So we've got twice as many lines in here, which is going to make counting challenging, hard, and confusing, and not shelf to software. So how do you make this shelf to software? Well, I do suggest having 2 lines to count cases of beer in the event where there's broken cases. In this situation, I don't really see broken cases. It does look like whenever you take cases out of this area that they are moving to the bar, so they're all going to be full. So I'll hit the erase button and clean this up. And what I mentioned earlier about 2 lines is if I have, I'll insert a line for Corona Light, 2 cases and then a broken, I'll count it as 2 cases and a broken. I don't want to have to try and think about doing math in my head. I'm going to let the machine do the math. So if I clean this up, you might want to leave your spot for Labatt Light, as that might show up, and or if you know that this product isn't coming back, let's get rid of it and get it out of the system, and it'll fall out. By inserting lines and deleting lines, you can get your map to be clean. POS report. The system is designed so that you paste your point of sale into the count tool, and after you do that, new POS buttons show up that have not been into the system and I need to write recipes to. So this is going to help accountability, because I'll see these new buttons, and when I send a variance report, I'll ask, what's the recipe for fill in the blank? I'm not sure that I've gotten much response on those questions, so I'm left to writing it to my standards, or what I check out online. What's a truck slut? I don't know what that is. But a lunchbox, a creamsicle, and a nutty Irishman, clearly I can find recipes online. But I want to write it to Fitzgerald standards. So whenever we get these truck sluts, you just click on this section here, or this cell right here, recipe required. You tell me what it is, if it's absolute, citron, and how much. If there's another product, you fill it in here, and how much, and then so on and so on. So that's how we communicate and keep these POS recipes written to Fitzgerald's standards. I've also asked to get the raw POS data, because we do have to manipulate the raw data out of the two-touch. So this is the last history of the extractor tool being used. If we go into old, we can see that I used to get the historical modifier, and this is the raw data. And I just like to have that because I like to confirm what is getting spit out of our manipulating the report, and confirm that everything is in here lined up correctly. It's a sanity check. So while I don't need this report to do reporting, I like to have it because I like to reference it. So variance report communication, 2 items here, and it'll speak to some organization. So I get that you don't have a whole heck, your liquor closet isn't huge, for sure. I understand that, but whenever I'm missing a bottle of booze and it's just buried in the liquor store, a couple of things I'm concerned about is how are we doing our orders on a weekly basis. If you can't see what you have in stock, then how do you know what to buy? Secondly, in the variance report, these are all the sections where you've counted it, and this will point to a clean map. If we have all these spots here where grandma used to be counted but isn't there, if we clean this up and we see that we've only got 1 bottle counted in the main bar tree 1 at 1/3 of a bottle, this variance report becomes much easier to read and manage and use. So a clean map is a fast map, a clean map is an accurate map. And that goes back to the inserting and deleting lines as you're counting and making it shelf to software. The other point on the variance report is checking what these products are lined up to on your POS buttons. So in the variance report, all the products that we're double checking have their POS buttons related to them. So here is the Grand Marnier. I've got the Uptown Margarita Grandma and Blonde Hooded Slut lined up to Grandma. And these are the ounce allocations for those. If these need to be changed and updated, then you use this yellow section to type in, this needs to be 1 ounce type of communication. So for review, a clean map is a fast, accurate map. That just speaks to adding and inserting lines and making the software making the counting map shelf to software. How do you use these insert, erase buttons, and you use your barcode. Just scan your barcode here. That actually, I'm sorry, reminds me. Let's take a look at the errors here. So in the error tab, this counting tool was sent over with 20 errors in it. And this is the error. So obviously you're counting hypnotic, but we spelled it 2 different ways, and we spelled it how we feel. We've got all these products lined up to barcodes. So for this tequila, what we would do is just take the bottle and scan the barcode. Now I don't have it in front of me, but here is the product in our master list, and all I need to do is paste in the barcode and make the computer think, and you see that it'll populate the product. So we don't have to type in product names, we can just use the barcode. That's how the system's designed. Equally, if we don't have a product with a barcode, or here's another option, is if you click on this cell, you'll see this drop down, and all the products that live in Fitzgerald's will be in this drop down menu. All the products that live in the system will live in the master list. For review, we've talked about the clean map, organization, making the, if you can't see it to count it, then you're not going to be able to count it right. And we should be past the point of a 20-item variance report. We should be down to 10-ish. Talk about the point of sale and the communication there so that I can get your recipes written to yours. And then we spoke about the variance report. I know inventory isn't the funnest thing in the world, and you want to get it done as quickly as possible and move on with your day, which is why, honestly, we developed the system of having it shelf to software. So I think if we clean this map up, our counts will become more accurate. It'll take less time. You won't have to be hunting around for items. When the variance report comes back, you won't have all these empty spots where product doesn't even live. It's not even here. To error check Grand Marnier, I just need to go to 1 spot. If it's in these 3 spots, then great. And then the variance report is to be used to take out errors and counting mistakes, but it's also used to confirm that, hey, holy cow, I am missing 5 bottles of Tito's. It gives you the confidence to have the conversations with your team and talk about it and let them know about it. And then it becomes the management tool it's designed to be. It's a conversation all week long about, hey, how's that pour going? Where does the Tito's going in? You know, if we're missing 5 bottles of Tito's, then we should be checking in on our recipes. Maybe somebody doesn't know, and that's what we want to uncover and identify. And that's how we will get a better accountability score and a lower pour cost. Thank you so much.